everyone. We're in the Science of Sharks exhibit at the New England Aquarium. I'm here with Anne, and she's going to tell us a little bit about breakfast with the sharks. So, Anne, first tell us what's on the menu for these guys.
Of course. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to breakfast here in Science of Sharks. On the menu today is a lovely mixture of fish and invertebrates. So here we have capelin, silverside, shrimp. This is a clam mussel, and this is a squid. Obviously, we don't feed this to them whole. It's actually fed to them in chop, where we remove the heads and tails from the capelin, the shell of the shrimp, and the pen and beak of the squid. So it's all chopped up for them in nice, small, bite-sized pieces, and it's a lovely mix, so they have a full, healthy breakfast. You want to have as much nutrients as possible in there, and to supplement that, we add vitamins. So here we have what's called VitaFish. It's a liquid vitamin, so I'll add a few drops into their food every so often. Additionally, we have these things called Missouri tabs. It's basically like a vitamin pill, something that you would take. If I want to specifically target a shark, I will put it into chop, and I will feed it directly to that shark with in addition to their normal diet. And today I am feeding about 174 grams of this chop, so we do actually have pretty specific amounts. It's all based on the shark's body weight and a certain percentage of that body weight. So for everybody in here with their combined body weight, it's 696 grams per week. So I measure that out depending on how many days I'm feeding them that week. They are fed typically every other day. And they don't get vitamins every day. They get them maybe once or twice a week. It's just to supplement their diet and keep them nice and healthy.
Tell us a little bit about this chart that you have here.
Of course. So charts are really important here at the aquarium. They help us keep records of what we're doing every day. So you can see that I'm writing down the weights that I'm giving them, how I'm feeding them, who I'm feeding specifically if I'm targeting a certain shark, and the days that I don't feed them. And also helps me keep records of the temperature and how I'm cleaning the exhibit. So if I have a question about a shark, I can go back in our records and I can see, oh, this shark was having some trouble, so we were target feeding them for a while, but now they're really great with scatter, so I don't have to do that anymore. Specifically in this tank right now, we have a thinner male coral cat. He's a bit older and a bit slower than a lot of these younger sharks here, so he doesn't often get as much scatter as he should. So I just make sure with our stick over here that he is getting the food that he needs and the nutrients that he needs every day.
And just so that we all are on the same page, what's scatter?
Of course, scatter is essentially exactly what it sounds like. It's also called a broadcast feed. So what I do is I take our chop and I scatter it or throw it into the water, so it goes across the entire exhibit. And what I do for these guys specifically with the scatter is I make sure that it goes into the coral. That way they have to look for it and think about how they're going to get it out of the coral. It's an added enrichment step in the morning that helps them think through that, and they're just not, lazily picking food up from the bottom. They actually have to think about it.
All right. Well, certainly comment if you have any questions, and we're just going to watch Anne feed the sharks. Oh, but real quickly, what sharks are in here? How many are in there? What species do we have here?
So in here today we have 5 epaulet sharks. These are these sharks here with the circle. They are the larger sharks in here. They're all girls. The darker colored sharks are the coral cat sharks. There are 8. And you can see here, just peeking out from the coral, that is the Halmahera walking shark. And there are 2 in this exhibit.
Cool, these sharks look pretty small.
They are pretty small. So a lot of people imagine when they hear shark, big shark, pointy teeth, enormous animal, usually a great white. That's not always the case. Sharks come in all different shapes and sizes, and these are all adults. These are all full-grown adult sharks, and this is as big as they'll ever get. And a lot of sharks are actually quite small.
Cool.
All right, ready to feed?
Yeah, let's watch.
All right. So I'm going to start with our broadcast scatter.
We had a good question from someone named Erica. She wondered if the coral, the beautiful corals in here, are live.
They are not live coral. These are all fake and painted to look like live coral. You can see live coral up in our lagoon exhibit.
Thanks, Erica. Good question. Looks like you got it. Terry wants to know what the big black spot is on some of the sharks. Those are the
epaulette sharks. That's just part of their color pattern.
Those are the epaulette sharks. Thanks for asking, Terry. Good question. Quick.
They eat very fast.
Yeah. Carly had a question about when they have young, are they removed from the tank until they're larger?
Sure. So we actually do get eggs from here. We typically get coral cat eggs. There are 2 males along with the females in here. And if we find an egg that's viable or has an embryo in it, it will be taken out and removed behind the scenes. And you can actually see some of those eggs here in Science of Sharks that are just over there. These are typically the epaulette eggs that are taken from a different couple of sharks in a different tank.
Cool, so there's a lot to learn here in our Science of Sharks exhibit. We just watched breakfast with the adult sharks in our Science of Sharks exhibit, and this is something that we have to do before the exhibit opens. Can you talk a little bit about why this is a special thing that we got to see?
This isn't a special thing you got to see because this takes a lot of work. As you can see, the whole exhibit is completely open. So this would be difficult to do while the public is here. And it's also, I have to be here observing the sharks eat. So while I was up there, I had to watch them and make sure that everyone got enough food. And as you saw, I was stick feeding that one shark because he was picking up the scatter. I don't know if anyone caught that, but he definitely needed some supplement to that. So I have to make sure that I am fully concentrating on the tank. The tank is open, we have a ladder here. So unfortunately, if the public was here, it would just be a bit too much.
Valerie just asked, how many times a day are they fed?
So typically once. Sharks like this, they usually have one meal in the morning. Occasionally I will split it out, and that's only for visitors. So sometimes I will give them half their food in the morning and half their food in the afternoon so visitors can see this action. But it's not the greatest for my observation because obviously I can't really see them all feed from the back of the exhibit, unfortunately. But these sharks, they get fed about once a day, and it's every other day typically.
Cool. Thanks, so much, Anne. This was really fun, and maybe we'll come back and visit you again sometime for breakfast.
Of course, I'd love to.
And thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll, if you comment with your questions, we'll definitely try to get to them if we didn't answer yours live here on Facebook. Thanks so much. Bye.